I think if you cut any Jack Morton person and looked inside and peered inside, you would see the words experiential communication. Kind of interesting words to use, but certainly over the last 4 or 5 years we've delved into this world of experiential communication. That is, making sure that audiences are immersed in a sensory experience, that they're brought into a journey which we engage them with and which can inspire them and wow them. And that can affect not only our business audiences, but also our public audiences as well.
Now, to what extent do you view events and marketing as part and parcel of the same thing, and to what extent do you think that you're unusual in that?
Clients only see sometimes only a part of an agency, and increasingly we want to make sure that our clients understand the firepower that we have at our disposal to give them. It's not just about face-to-face work, which we're pretty good at. It's also about motivating, inspiring audiences through different kinds of communication, which could include digital media and include 3D as well as 2D design.
How do you go out working out what your target audience is, and then how do you go about targeting them?
Good question, because again, 5 or 6 years ago, just a turn of the century, we as an agency began to look much more visibly and overtly at the audience. Frankly, if you go back a step or two, we get briefed from a client team who think they understand their business objectives and sometimes get that wrong. And what we wanted to do was to go, as I say, half a step back and interrogate and find out and do some really honest, validatory research, if you wish, on the audiences themselves. We've got a trade name, if you wish, a trademark at Jack Morton for that, called audience alignment, which is making sure that we're aligning our offer to what the audience should have and where they should go on their particular journey. And so probing and understanding what the audience really want from a hearts and minds perspective is the first step for us as an agency.
Once you've said it, it sounds relatively obvious, and do you now expect all your competitors to be doing the same thing?
Typically our industry, I think, has been pretty weak over the last number of years in displaying back to the client team how effective we truly are. We historically bundle into clients' offices with models and visuals and a huge amount of creative enthusiasm, and wave our arms in the air to knock over a client, which may cost millions of pounds, or a project millions of pounds to put on. But we generally don't follow up and actually show back how efficient it's been, because it's difficult, it's not easy. And so once again, in our summit meeting of 4 or 5 years ago now, we said, look, we've got to get better at measurement and evaluation. And so Jack Morton has increasingly begun to use more tools in that area. We're displaying that now to our client using digital media increasingly to help us with that. And we're actually, over the next 9 to 12 months, building on that, and we'll be rolling out a series of initiatives late this year and early next, which we believe will give us huge amounts of blue water between us and competition in the sphere. You know, return on investment is key to clients, and we need to recognise that and accelerate our thinking.
Finally, do you think you've won the battle, won the argument with clients that you are money well spent? Because you're obviously not, it's not a cheap option to come to any events organiser, but,
sure.
but by the sound of what you're doing, not a cheap option to come to you particularly. So you said you can show them, that you demonstrate that you're spending their money wisely, but are they still coming to you, and is the money still there to be spent on these type of events?
It's a good question. I think the market necessarily isn't growing, compound year on year in what we do. So it's divvied up, if you wish, amongst a number of agencies, small and large alike. The reason that I can point to evidence that they like it is repeat business. Plainly, if clients come back for more work and working with the teams here, then that's very good evidence that they enjoy the experience, let alone the empirical data that we were talking about earlier in terms of ROI. And I'm proud to say that 90% of our work is repeat business. And we're very proud of the fact that we have a number of what we call agency of record, AOR, clients increasing on our roster. That's where we want to go. We're in for long-term relationships with our clients, becoming a partner rather than a supplier.